What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pasco County, Florida. Today we're going to be driving through a residential neighborhood here to show you guys what a poor, kind of not exactly urban, but like semi-rural neighborhood looks like. Old Florida mobile home parks. These are the types of places you just don't see every day. And eventually I think these things will be a relic of the past. As real estate prices in Florida get higher and higher, I think places like this eventually may get phased out. I mean, these are mobile homes from like the 60s, late 60s, 70s. Just kind of a relic of the Florida past. I grew up in a place similar to this in Naples, Florida. It's just an old mobile home park. The people that live in the rich communities nearby probably don't imagine the type of place that is just right down the road. We're in Pasco County, right outside of Newport Richey. Not sure if this is a Newport Richey address or Hudson.
It's
Newport Richey, but you know, I've had a lot of people ask me, oh, these areas are so affordable compared to the rest of Florida. I'm like,
there's a reason.
there's a reason they're more affordable. And I've had just so many people tell me, I found a mobile home in Hudson, Florida for $50,000, and anywhere else in Florida it'd be twice or three times that. I'm like, there's a reason it's cheaper. So I'm gonna give you guys kind of a real life look at what these neighborhoods are like. You see this little mobile home right here? It's just tiny. It's just a tiny little mobile home, fenced-in property. I've already noticed a few mobile homes that have no trespassing signs. You'll notice that here in this neighborhood, a lot of houses have fences, which most of the time you don't need to put up fences, but that's not a good sign. And I don't know if we're gonna see anything bad while driving through here, but I at least think we could at least start to get an idea of what makes a neighborhood be less attractive, or what type of things you should look out for. I'm gonna let this vehicle pass me since we're kind of moving slow. Kind of aggressive driving is definitely not a good thing. But this area of Florida has some of the most seized purposely driving aggressive now because we were driving slow. And that's the type of stuff you see in crappy neighborhoods. And you're not going to have people road rage you in a nice area usually. Road rage is usually a bad thing. But we'll drive through here and just kind of get a feel for this place. I've also noticed a real correlation between neighborhoods that are kind of crappy and aggressive behavior. But there's also a really interesting correlation that I found recently. We were doing some research for a video about OD rates, and I've noticed that some of these places in Florida where people are most aggressive, most road raging, also have really high OD rates. So it may be that the reason some of these people are aggressive is because they're on something that's altering their mood. So we had kind of always mentioned how in this part of the state people seem to be awfully aggressive and awfully road rage. You remember that, babe?
Mm-hmm.
In some of our previous videos. And then we looked at a map of OD rates by county, and we realized that in a lot of the counties where we thought people were super aggressive, they also have really high OD rates. So it may be a correlation between, or more of an explanation of why sometimes people in this part of Florida just seem ultra aggressive, just kind of, they're always aggressive and violent. And a good explanation when we looked at these analytics from county to county that would explain why, it seems like there's a good correlation between aggressive driving people and just aggressive people and use. So if you've ever been to an area of Florida and you think people here are kind of just really aggressive, then well, here's your sign, I guess. They could have some mood altering influence in their body. I wasn't aware, like every time I drove through this part, like Pasco, Citrus, I'm always like, man, why are people so aggressive out here? And then I looked at these county by county OD rates, and I was like, well, They're on a lot of stuff that alters their mood, so that's why they behave that way.
And this isn't something new. This area has been known as
Yeah.
that for many.
Oh yeah, this has been on
years.
Cops TV show for the longest. It's nothing new.
I think this was even on the Cops in the 90s.
Yeah, this has been this area's had a reputation for a long time. This area's always had a bad reputation. But what's interesting though is that people, when they look at hoods, they tend to think that it's only inner city neighborhoods. But this matches all the criteria of a hood to me. You got junkies, you got criminals, you got all of the bad things are here. Poverty. This is a hood just like any other hood. You know, a lot of times when I label places like this as a hood, people get angry. They're like, oh, we're not a hood. But first, the word hood only just means neighborhood, by the way. The word hood is just, you know, its most basic grammar context. The word hood is nothing more than the word neighborhood. It's just an abbreviation for neighborhood, and it is a neighborhood, is it not? That's what the most basic context of the word hood is, neighborhood. And it is a neighborhood, right?
Yes, it is.
But in the informalities of what that term refers to, you could probably assume that it is a hood in all of its. You're going to deal with the same things here as you'll deal with any bad neighborhood in any inner city. But people just have the notion that these areas, perhaps based on their demographics, are going to be better. But if you ever live in a place like this, you'll come to the conclusion real quick that, you know, if you're looking at real estate values, well, why are these places so cheap? It must be a, you know, some places, when a lot of things that people don't understand is when an area gets expensive, there's a reason it's expensive, and it's because it's more attractive. When an area is very affordable, there's also an explanation why it's affordable. People know what's good and what's bad, and when an area's real estate values are in a decline, it doesn't really leave too much to be desired. People aren't dumb, they know it's not good. Can't fool people, can't fool the buyers. Police car over there. You just can't fool the buyers. We know the difference. So when an area is affordable, it's because nobody wants it. When an area is expensive, there's a demand for it. I wonder if there's alligators there. The lake looks small enough to have an alligator. Small enough, but it's got that alligator look to it. I don't know if it's that green moss or what. But people are not dumb, and they know that when an area is affordable, it's not really real estate you want to get your hands on. When an area is more expensive, there's an explanation. And sometimes I think people are just in denial. I think it's really people are in denial. They know why California's more expensive. They know why Miami's more expensive. People are in denial. They don't want to admit that they know what's up. And again, if these places were attractive, like I had really a better opinion about these areas here in North Central Florida. I even was looking to move into Citrus County, which now has the highest OD rate in this whole entire state of Florida. But you just have to look a little bit more carefully. It's the thing. You have to look a little bit more detail, because I was looking at moving into Citrus County, and it didn't work out. And now I look at some statistics. I'm like, well, now they have the highest OD rate in the entire state of Florida. So you have to ask yourself, what's really going on in this area of the state of Florida? Citrus and Pasco and Hernando up here. What is really going on? Because at first glance, it looks like it's all elderly people and retirement. But then you spend some time out here, you're like, well, there has to be an explanation for it. It's not just expensive to be expensive. There's a lot of police here in the street right now. In fact, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to go into the area. I wanted to go on the street right here, but it might be taped off. There's 2 police cars. And you know,
It's a very small street.
I'm going to go down it either way. So there's a lot of police, but let's see if I can go down it. But at the end of the day, lots of police on the street.
Yeah.
Not sure what took place, but lots of police. They're on the other side of the road. You guys haven't seen it on camera yet. All types of scenarios unfolding here. Oh, the other camera. But anyways, when you go to these neighborhoods, like when we went to recently did Pine Manor, you know, you'll start to pick up why these neighborhoods are affordable. And sometimes people struggle to understand that, but we're not blind. The telltale signs are there. There are telltale signs left and right. Hello.
How's it going?
Good, thank you. But if you look close enough, you'll understand why these neighborhoods are more affordable. It might take a while. It might not be obvious right off the get-go, but eventually you'll start to understand. And when a neighborhood's affordable, there's a reason. In the case of this part of Florida, you'll find out. And kind of an explanation to the ultra aggressiveness of some of these places. Self-explanatory. I love this little trailer here with the palm tree. Great stuff, man. I'm grabbing ATVs over here. Gotta be real careful grabbing. I love that little mobile home with that palm tree. Big tall palm tree from back in the day. That is just nostalgic, man. Is there a way out of this neighborhood if we go to the right?
Yes.
To the right. Bunch of ATVs going that way. Technically, you're not allowed to drive an ATV on a paved road, but you know, the cops aren't going to care about something like that. It's just people having a good time.
You're still going to need to turn on the board.
Now, if it was an inner city neighborhood, cops would chase them down and taser them. That's what's interesting about that.
Yeah. Take this road down to the end.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bend. And
Oh, cool. Yeah, we'll get to see all that. But what's interesting is, okay, so when in this neighborhood here, there's kids, you know, driving ATVs through here, and it's cops look the other way. They don't make a big deal out of it. But like, if it's an inner city neighborhood and there's kids driving ATVs, they're getting chased down. But it's just a weird thing how we perceived innocence in certain areas, and it's just people trying to have a good time. There's nothing bad. Just kids. Who doesn't like driving an ATV? I sure do. Is it a little bit dangerous? Sure it is, but it's enjoyable. But it's weird how we perceive, like, if it's just kids in an inner city neighborhood that are on their ATVs, we look at that as it's like, oh my gosh, you know, whatever. Cops are gonna go chase after them even. But in a neighborhood like this, then it's not a problem. And it's interesting how the way we perceive things as a society of what's right and what's wrong. But I'm gonna focus a lot more on like neighborhoods like this on my channel, where I've lived in places like this, by the way, and I know what it's all about. I've had horrible neighborhoods, horrible stories living in places like this. But when we talk about hoods in America, they're usually always showing you inner cities. What's FAFO stand for? When we talk about, you know, hoods in America, it's always an inner city. It's never a place like this, but there's as much crime and problems and all types of crappery going on in a place like this as there is in any inner city. But it's crazy how when we look at, you know, hood videos, they pop off. They're showing you areas that are inner city, but there's a lot of like places like this that are, to me, are hoods. There's more going that way. A little bit more. Let's get back out. Heading now. Hoods are hoods, no matter how you put them. No matter how you look at it, a hood is a hood. It's just a poor place, lots of crime. Are there great people out here? Absolutely. Some of the best people you're going to meet are going to be in poor places. You know, they don't care. They don't really care. You know, it's just They don't care if you have money. They're not judging you based on how much money you made last year, what car you're driving, or what shoes you're driving. These are just real humble, down-to-earth people, you know. I'm not. A lot of times people assume that you're kind of targeting the people and judging them, but that's definitely not the case. Some of the greatest people you're going to meet are going to be in places like this. But unfortunately, because those people are so good, it creates an opportunity for bad people to be able to take advantage of those people. Because rich people won't let you take advantage of them. But in neighborhoods like this that are poor, the criminals and the bad elements they're able to take advantage of poor people better than they are than rich people. You can't take advantage of rich people easily. Hello! But like I said, awesome people in these places. They're like, hi. Interesting. There's great people in all types of places, man. Like, you know, the notion that. But unfortunately, like, bad elements can find their way in a place like this a lot easier. Hello, man. What's up?
Come on. Look at it, man. The camera's on me, man.
They're all mad about the camera. I'm sorry, dude. I'm doing my job. I gotta work. I got bills to pay. Everybody's got bills to pay. We just found a very modern way to pay our bills, my man. They're like flicking us off in the distance. I'm like, oh, this is what it is.
I don't care.
I can't go hungry, man. I gotta pay my bills too. I'm gonna go down this street right here. Get off the main road. I just found a very modern way to pay. Look at that tractor mailbox. That is so cool. That's what's up. I remember when I lived in the trailer park in Naples, I used to always have novelty mailboxes. I had a boat mailbox for a while until Katie ran it over. She launched a car over it.
He will never let me live
I love
that
how,
one now.
look at this like cactus trees growing on it. I love how there's cactus trees in this neighborhood for some reason.
There's a street up here you can get back
Not bad. I think we're gonna end the video right here on the street. Not bad, 17 minutes. But that just gives you a look at a very interesting neighborhood here. ¿Qué pasa, papi? He's like, what's up? Alright. The cameras definitely don't go unnoticed in neighborhoods like this. People are definitely wondering, why is this guy recording? I'm sure there's a lot of people here who don't want their businesses exposed. MR2, interesting that MR2 was, they had to change the name in France because MR2 in France is poop. So they you know, like, there's a piece of crap basically. So in France, the MR2 they had to change the name of the MR2 in France from MR2 to something else because in France MR2 just means merde, which is French for crap. So they weren't really selling them in the French-speaking countries, and they figured out why. Well, imagine if a car model called, you know, piece of crap came on the market, you wouldn't be like, well, I'm not buying a piece of crap. So needless to say, sales of the MR2 in the French-speaking countries were weak. And, you know, an interesting thing too that I find is that in all the poor neighborhoods you go to across America, you just see the same occupations and always see the same jobs in the poor neighborhoods. There's always a junk guy, there's always a scrap metal guy, always a plumber. It just seems like some occupations just don't really lead to anything but poverty. Nice trailer though. It's a very nice trailer. Would I wish I had a trailer like that in all my junk hauling years. Now that I can afford it, I don't want it, don't need it, don't like it. Alright y'all, let's get up out of this neighborhood real quick. See the rest of Pasco and its majesty. So straight right here. Pasco County and its majesty. Pasco County in its beauty and majesty. So much interesting stuff to look at, old cars. People don't even buy new cars around here. But some of these older cars are more reliable than the new stuff you're gonna buy. New cars are just garbage these days. Alright guys, there it is.